Hi, welcome to another online discussion sponsored by the Light Givers Association. I am Carlos Ataiden, my friends call me Kaloy, and I'm here to host a discussion among caregivers. Let me give you a little history. Last March, I had a heart attack and I had to go through a 3 bypass surgery. For more than a month after my surgery, I was being cared for by caregivers. Of course, doctors and nurses also came and I visited them and they cared for me. But the caregivers stayed with me the longest time. And this is when I realized how difficult it is to be a caregiver. And this was the time I decided to do an online discussion on the Filipino caregivers. I chose two among the caregivers that took care of me, who I believe are very good in their jobs. The names were Ruby Ferraris and Steve Pangan. I also decided to include a nurse to be one of our guests because nurses and caregivers have a lot of functions that are similar to each other. So I thought maybe the caregivers can learn something from a nurse. So I asked someone who I believe is a very good caregiver nurse who is taking care of my brother at the moment. His name is Justoni Pajarillo. The goal of this discussion is for the Filipino caregivers to learn from the experiences shared by our guests. We will be asking them, our guests, a few questions, and hopefully from the answers will come the learnings. Okay, now let's get to know our guests. Let's start with the nurse. Justoni, paki-introduce mo lang please ang sarili mo.
By the way, I'm Nurse Justoni Pajarillo. I'm 34 years of age. Bicolano, mga Aragon. I have 2 sons and 1 wife only. I've been a nurse since 2010. I'm 14 years in service as a nurse. I worked 5 years in the hospital, and after that, I've been practicing more on private services. I took the board exam, and thank God I passed it.
Our next caregiver is Ruby Ferraris.
I'm Ruby Ferrares, 36 years old, private caregiver for almost 18 years, working as a home-based and hospital-based caregiver in Philippines.
Our third caregiver is Steve Pangan.
Good morning po. Ako po si Steve Pangan. 5 years na po akong caregiver and ako rin po ay ex-OFW and nagtapos po ako ng Bachelor of Science in Psychology.
And now the questions. Unang tanong, bakit kayo naging caregiver o nurse? Ano ang nag-udyok sa inyo? What motivated you?
Since I was a child, my father was always sick due to hypertension, diabetes, and seizure disorder. And it has so many complications, sir. I saw that my mother was so hard in taking care of him. This is the one main reason na I said to myself na I will pursue nursing to go on medical field so that I can help my mother taking care of my father. And also, in this career, I dreamed also going abroad so that I can support my younger siblings in their finances to school.
Thank you, Justoni. To care for one's family is one of the core values of Filipinos. This is why many, except for those who are well employed here, want to go abroad because they need to support their family. At ikaw naman, Ruby, ano ang nag-udyok sa'yo na maging caregiver?
Pinili ko po maging caregiver, working as caregiver for almost 18 years kasi po since na exposed po talaga ako sa mga adult po. Yung mother ko po, hindi ko na rin po nakasama. So, working po ako as caregiver for 18 years. Ang first patient ko po is hemorrhagic stroke. 6 years ko po siyang hinawakan. So, 6 years ako nag-handle ng hemorrhagic stroke and peg tube patient. And then, former OFW sa Dubai, caregiver din po. Gusto ko po talaga ang caregiver kasi dito po talaga yung passion ko. Ito po talaga yung pinakagusto ko na trabaho. Kumbaga dito na ako nahasa.
For Ruby, it is passion. I love that word because you need passion to be able to do well in whatever you're doing. Steve, ikaw naman, ano ang nang-udyok sa'yo maging caregiver?
Ang nag-udyok sa akin para mag-caregiver is, it is more on inspiration. Kasi po nung na-confine ng father ko sa sakit na emphysema, I saw the nurses and the other caregivers na talagang passionate sila sa ginagawa nila. So, dahil sa kanila, natuto po ako ng mga ginagawa ng nurses at caregivers. At kagaya po ng sabi ko, it's na-inspired po ako sa kanila and sinabi ko po sa sarili ko, one day, gagawin ko po ang mga ginawa nila. Dahil po, siguro po, likas sa akin ng tumulong ang mag-alaga. Kaya, parang nasa passion ko na rin po para maging isang caregiver.
Inspired by others and wanting to care for others was the motivation of Steve. Galing, no? All right, now for the second question. Ano ang inyong mga problema bilang isang caregiver or nurse? Let's start with Ruby this time. Ruby, ano ba ang sagot mo?
Ang mga problema po namin as a caregiver sa mga patient namin or employer, hard po talaga sa amin yung mga pasyente na mga toxic patient. Why toxic? Yung mga patient na puyatan talaga. Like dementia, Alzheimer's, isa din po yun yung mga hindi maiiwasan sa mga employers na bawat galaw ng mga caregivers babantayan, yung hindi pa buo yung loob kapag first time mo nag-alaga sa pasyente nila, hindi pa buo yung loob ng tiwala, so bawat galaw mo nababantayan, hindi mo alam kung saan ka lulugar or ano yung dapat mong unang gawin sa patient mo, kahit alam mo yung mga bawat gawin mo, alam mo yung routine mo araw-araw, pero nahihirapan kang i-enhance kung ano yung skills mo para sa patient or ano yung mga dapat mong gawin sa patient dahil po sa mga nai-encounter mong problem sa environment ng mga employers namin.
Trust. That is the key word here. We want to be trusted. The caregivers, of course, want to be trusted so that they can do their jobs well. But they cannot get this trust unless they prove themselves to be trustworthy. Of course, the employers and patients will closely watch them. And once they know that they're trustworthy, they will ease up. Just like myself and my wife. We eased up when we saw that the caregivers were doing the jobs and were doing it well. Let us now hear what Justoni has to say.
For me, sir, my big problem in my first time here in Metro Manila, working as a private nurse, the depression, sir. One of my main problem to myself. This is number one is to myself. Depression due to homesick, sir, away from my family. Another one, sir, is the workplace or the environment I'm working with my colleagues, kasama sa bahay. Everyone there, since I am new in the workplace, they treat me differently. But as time goes by, it went smooth naman. Another thing is emotional stress. But in the main thing, sir, as naging problem as a nurse, when I was working in our province, the salary is too low. I can't support my family in finances. That's why this is the reason why I went to Metro Manila. It's higher paid than in provincial area. One thing is with the patient who is not cooperative with the medical regimen, that's causing more problem to them.
Homesickness is one of the problems experienced by those who work far from home. By far here, I mean great distance that does not allow the person to go home without having to spend a lot of money and travel more than a day. I believe that this is one of the concerns employers of caregivers have to address. O ikaw naman, Steve, ano mga problema mo as a caregiver?
There's a lot of factors po na hinaharap namin ng mga problems as a caregiver. One na po doon is ang pinakamahalaga is yung cooperation ng family. Kasi sometimes po, ang family nagpo-provide ng financial pero kulang po sa pakikipag-communicate sa amin. In that factor po, mahirap po talagang mag-handle ng patient dahil pagka may nangyari po sa pasyente, kami po ang sisisihin. So, kailangan po namin talaga ng communication at support ng family. At the same time po, meron pong family na sinasabi ni Ma'am Ruby na toxic, na imbes na makipag-cooperate sa amin, sila pa po ay nakikialam sa mga ginagawa namin, which is yung mga skills namin, kini-question nila. Yun po ang isa sa malaking factors ng aming problema. Yung sweldo po or financial is para po sa akin is secondary po.
Toxic and uncooperative patients and employers. This is really one of the things that make it very difficult for caregivers to do their jobs. All right, let's move on to the next question. Anong uri ng mga pasyente at employer ang mahirap para sa inyo i-service? Tony, ano ang sagot mo dyan?
There is a difficult and easy patient or na ma-handle mo. But for the first step po, we need to build a trust and comfort for the patient. Comfort, dito po natin maibibigay yung tinatawag na TCL or tender loving care. Treat them as your own family. If you have all these qualities, for this will help you also to smooth the bond with the patient para mapalagay yung loob niya sa'yo. Merong patient na masungit, pero as a nurse, we need to consider this as part of their condition po. We need to understand that we put our feet on them. Hindi natin alam kung gaano kahirap yung pinagdadaanan nila bilang pasyente.
Tender loving care. Ang solusyon ni Tony for difficult patients and employers. You can't go wrong. You can't lose with that solution. Even if the employer or patient is masungit, but if you are loving and caring in your response to them, they will soften up. They will relax. Hindi ba? So, salamat, Tony. Ang ganda ng solusyon mo. O ikaw naman, Ruby, ano ang mga mahirap i-service?
Ang mga uri po ng patient at employer na i-encounter ko na mahirap is yung mga employer po na hindi din po sapat yung mga financial. So nagkakaproblema po kami sa salary, sa rate. Minsan nagsisimula kami sa tamang rate. At the end of the day, mag 3 months ka na, mag 1 year ka na, yun. So kailangan nilang makiusap na bababaan kasi yung financial support sa medicine ng patient is kulang. So doon din po kami nahihirapan kasi bawat po caregivers, mostly dito sa Maynila na nagtatrabaho as caregivers is nagre-rent lang po talaga. So kung magkakaproblema po si employers sa financial, magkakaproblema din po kami sa support sa family namin. Kailangan namin sa mga employers is yung enough salary po para sa amin. Sa mga patients naman, depende naman po yun sa caregivers kung paano nila i-handle yung mga patients. So, sa akin naman po, for almost 18 years, yung first patient po, after ko po nag-graduate as a health aid course, wala pa ako naging problema, sir, kasi nagtagal po ako ng 6 years sa patient ko. Then, nandito sa Maynila, yung first patient ko, nagtagal din po ako ng almost 4 years and a half. So, para sa akin, blessed po ako sa mga pasyente ko kasi lahat po mababait. Wala pa ako naging problema. Although, merong mga ibang mga toxic, pero nakikerry naman i-handle. So, sa mga employers, mostly, ang problema po namin talaga is not enough po yung salary na in-offer.
Sabi ni Ruby, not enough financial support. Most of the caregivers have families. Of course, they need financial support. Most of them are not really asking for a lot of money, just enough to take care of their families. This is why many try to look for jobs abroad for employers who are considerate, who can pay them well. At the same time, yes, it is also sad for the employers and patients here who cannot afford a caregiver. The situation is difficult from both sides, and how I wish we can help them both. O ikaw naman, Steve, ano ba ang sagot mo dyan sa tanong ko?
Lahat naman po ng case ay nasubukan ko na po at hindi naman po sa pagmamayabang o pagmamalaki. Lahat po ng case na hinawakan ko is kaya ko po. Ang problema po talaga or ang mahirap i-handle ay ang gaya po ng sabi ko kanina is yung relatives po. Pagka connection na po yung skills o kakayanan mo, yun po, doon po magkakaproblema. At doon na-experience ko na po yun once at talagang hindi ko po nagustuhan kaya ang ending po is talagang binitawan ko po yung pasyente.
According to Steve, one of the problems is relatives of patients na nakikialam and those who question their ability to do the job. This is one of the reasons why caregivers resign, quit. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. Ano ang mga sidelines nyo para madagdagan ang inyong kita?
Ginagawa ko po para dagdag sa income ko or extra income. Nagre-refer din po ng mga caregivers sa mga employers. Nagre-refer ng mga housemaid, boy, driver sa mga employers na mga naging pasyente ko before or sa mga kakilala ko po. And then, sa ngayon po, ginagawa ko yung networking. Actually, galing na po ako ng networking for almost, nagsimula po ako ng 2015 sa networking. And then, na-stop lang po ako. Nag-work ako as full-time caregiver dito po sa Maynila. Then, ginagawa ko po ulit yung networking ko dito din po sa Maynila as a part-time extra income. Dagdag po para sa financial po support sa family ko.
Thank you, Ruby. Most caregivers, especially those with families, have to do other work to augment their income. Now, this puts a lot of stress on them and affects their jobs, even as a caregiver. So if they just get paid well enough, then they should be able to do the jobs better. So ikaw naman, Steve, anong sagot mo dyan?
Ang aking part-time or nagkakitaan pagka wala po akong duty is nagtuturo po ako as a special education teacher sa Cavite po. Dahil ako rin po ay graduate ng BS Psychology at nagkaroon po ako ng opportunity na makapagturo. Ito po ay ginagawa ko kung ako ay wala pong duty na pangmatagalan. At ang part-time ko po ito ay malaking tulong sapagkat na-enhance po nito ang aking skills sa pagiging special education teacher at the same time, nagagamit ko po ang aking pinag-aralan bilang psychology graduate.
Thank you, Steve. Galing. Steve is a psychology graduate. And definitely, this is an advantage for caregivers because if they know this, they can also help the patients and, of course, their employers emotionally. So, not only physical, but also emotions. Wonderful, wonderful, Steve. Thank you so much for that. And now, just Tony, ikaw naman, ano ang mga sidelines mo?
Since pandemic po, I'm in a medical field. I sell medical supplies also online and offline sa mga kapitbahay, sa mga kakaibigan, kakilala. Lalo na po nung pandemic days, I sell po face masks, face shields, and alcohols. Since in demand siya that time, this helps a lot po sa akin and sa family ko dahil kumita po kahit papano. Kahit may trabaho ako, kumikita pa din po ng extra. And I do also po, I'm offering also skincare products and skincare home service like glutathione sessions po. Pwedeng home service, pwedeng sila po yung pumupunta sa meet-up place. Right now po, wala akong ganong nagpo-focus po ako sa patient ko. Mas focus po ako ngayon sa kay Sir Litay po. That's all po. Thank you.
Thank you, Justoni. Aba, ano ka pala? Hindi lang magaling maging nurse, pwede ka rin salesperson. Alright, diba? Pero you still decide to be more of a nurse than a salesperson because mahal mo yung trabaho. I've seen Justoni at work and I tell you, he's a very good nurse and caregiver. Okay, let's now move on to our fifth question. Right? The question is, anong klase ng pasyente ang mas gusto niyong iserbisyo at bakit? Or Ruby, what is your answer to that question?
Yung mga pasyente po na gustong-gusto ko i-handle, since po na nag-graduate po ako ng health aid, na-expose na po talaga ako sa mga dementia patient, hemorrhagic stroke patient. So, para po sa akin, mas gusto ko po yung mga ganong cases. Hemorrhagic stroke, dementia, and Alzheimer's patient po, sir.
I asked Ruby why she prefers to care for hemorrhagic stroke, dementia, and Alzheimer's patients, and her answer was that they respond well to tender loving care, or TLC.
For me, sir, hindi naman po ako namimili ng particular cases kasi as a caregiver, if sino or ano man ang cases na nangangailangan is kailangan mong tanggapin or kailangan mong alagaan. Pero mostly, ang napupunta po sa akin is mga terminal cancer patient po. I have 3 or 4 patients who had terminal cancer and they're all passed away. And I think mas nabigay ko yung care ko sa kanila bago sila mawala. At damang-dama ko rin naman po yun sa magitan ng kanilang mga loved ones. And I believe and naniniwala po ako na nabigay ko po ang care na narapat para sa kanila.
According to Steve, he has no preference as far as patients are concerned. However, before we started this discussion, I asked him what he wants, what type of patients he wants, and he says, well, I like to take care of children who have mental disability because I am a psychologist. And now he's also saying that he is comfortable with patients who have terminal cancer. Maybe because he can help them with his psychology background. Justoni, ikaw naman, ano mas sagot mo?
Sa totoo lang, sir, number one, patient has the right to choose kung sino yung i-hire niya based on his sickness. Balik kung ano yung experience mo, dapat yung sakit niya is compatible sa experience mo. In my case po, hindi po ako namimili ng pasyente. I didn't choose any case. Ang lagi ko pong itinatatak sa isip ko, number one is walang madaling trabaho. And it's not madaling trabaho, it's in yourself and the skills on how to handle it. Sa una lang po mahirap, pero pag nakabisado nyo na yung everyday routine, it will be easy. Ika nga kung kabisado nyo na yung trabaho, lahat madali na, hindi na mahirap. Honestly po, hindi sa na-experience ko, may mga pasyente akong hindi ko specialty or hindi ko pa nahawakan, pero hinandle ko pa din. In that thing po, the main thing po is how I can learn it even if I don't experience it. Paano ako makakagain ng experience and knowledge if hindi ko papasukin or susubukan? Bale, I take the risk and I learned from it. As time goes by, if parang dumadali na po lahat, hindi na siya mahirap.
Tony does not have any preference. He says he is challenged to handle different kinds of patients, and because he learns from them. Well, that's a very good attitude. Okay, let's move on to the next question. And the question is, sa palagay nyo, ano ang mga qualifications nyo na magugustuhan ng mga employers sa Pilipinas at sa abroad para i-hire kayo? Okay, let's start with Steve.
I would say, ang pagiging caring ng mga Pilipino. Alam naman po natin na lahat ng Pilipino ay likas sa kanila ang mapag-alaga or caring. And I think yun po dapat natin i-portray lahat or na magiging caregiver or gustong maging caregiver na maging caring. And of course, dapat po passionate ka sa iyong ginagawa. And kasi pagka naging passionate ka po, nandun na po ang pagiging honest and hardworking.
Thank you, Steve. O ikaw naman, Tony, ano ba ang sagot mo tungkol sa qualifications?
Number one po na tinitingnan, what they're looking for is the knowledge and skills based on your resume. But in behalf of that, we need to bring our good attitude. Good attitude po cannot be learned. Knowledge and skills can be, but attitude cannot. So, sinabi ko po sa sarili ko, kung may mabuti ako katulad ng tender loving care, pinapakita ko sa pasyente na passionate ako and mahal ko yung trabaho ko, doon ko po masasabi na ito yung qualifications na ang employer na magugustuhan po. Yun lamang po. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tony. Ikaw naman, Ruby, ano yung mga qualifications mo na feeling mo na magugustuhan ng mga employers?
So, kumbaga as a caregiver, meron po tayong tender loving care sa patient. Kaya po nasasabi ko na blessed po ako sa mga patient ko kasi halos lahat ng naging patient ko po is comfortable po na makasama ako, comfortable din po ako nakasama sila. Siguro isa sa qualifications na ano ko sa sarili ko is yung comfortable makipagtrabaho sa mga kapwa ko caregivers, nurses, ganun sir. Tapos sa mga patient ko po, yung nakukuha yung loob na alam nilang dedicated ka sa work mo, hardworking as a caregiver. Actually, dati po sa Dubai, mahigit 2 years din po ako, so decided to for good sa Pilipinas. Actually, hindi po ako gustong bitawan ng pasyente ko. So, alam ko na dedicated po ako sa work ko bilang caregiver.
Thank you, Ruby. And now let's move on to the last question. Anong advice ang mabibigay nyo sa mga existing at future caregivers at nurses tungkol sa attitude at service sa kanilang mga pasyente? Steve, what is your advice?
The advice that I will give to the future caregiver o sa mga gustong mag-caregiver is to be passionate sa lahat ng gagawin nila. Hindi lang sa pag-aalaga o hindi lang sa pag-caregiver. Number one, ang pagiging passionate sa gusto nilang gawin. And the second one is kailangan buo ang loob mo kung anong gusto mong gawin. Ang pagiging caregiver, hindi lang basta mag-aalaga ka. Kailangan yung pag-aalaga may kasamang tender loving care, gaya nga nasabi ni Ma'am Ruby and Sir Gestoni. Hindi lang mag-caregiver ka para sa money. Ang money is, for me, secondary. And the most important is how you handle or how you care the patient.
Steve's advice, to be passionate. Ikaw naman, Ruby, what is your advice?
So, ang advice ko lang po sa mga existing caregivers at sa mga mag-caregivers. So, lahat naman po tayo hindi perfect as the caregivers, walang perfectong caregivers, walang perfectong employers. So, we need to focus. Focus lang po sa trabaho, focus lang at maging dedicated. So, sa bawat ginagawa natin dahil don't look after money, sabi nga. So, wag natin titingnan yung salary. Kasi minsan may mga caregivers na hindi naman talaga dedicated sa trabaho, puro tinitingnan nila yung sahod na ino-offer. So, bibigyan tayo ng mga employers ng maayos na salary, depende din po sa ating skills, sabi nga ni Sir Jess. So, kailangan ipakita natin yung best natin dahil hindi po ang pagiging caregiver, hindi lang po basta malaki ang sahod. Hawak natin yung buhay ng bawat pasyente natin, sa atin nakasalala yung buhay nila.
According to Ruby, there are no perfect patients, employers, and caregivers. Her advice to caregivers is focus on the job. She reminds the caregivers that the life of the patient is dependent on how well they do their jobs. Thank you, Ruby. I like that. Okay, ikaw naman, Gestoni. Anong sagot mo?
For our private nurses and caregivers, una sa lahat, dapat mahal nyo yung trabaho nyo. Love your work para mahalin din kayo nito pabalik. It's not the term na pera-pera lang, para kumita ako malaki, mag-iipon ako. Pero dapat ibigay nyo yung lahat nyo. Dapat ibigay nyo yung TCL na tinatawag na tender loving care. Itrato nyo yung pasyente nyo na parang tunay nyong pamilya. Be good to them, respect them, and also give them the full service na karapat-dapat sa kanila.
It's not easy to be a caregiver, especially when you're taking care of people who are very sick. You have to be on your toes, you have to be alert. There's no time to rest. The 8 hours you're working there or 10 hours, you have to be totally focused on the patient. And you have to do things people abhor to do, like cleaning the poo of someone else and giving them a bath, and do so many things that people don't like to do, and yet they do it. Sadly, our caregivers here in the Philippines are not paid enough to take care of their families, and so they have to do other jobs, so they're super stressed. And they also have to contend with toxic patients, employers, and even the relatives who do not appreciate their job, do not appreciate them. And yet, they go through all of this because they like taking care of patients. They care for patients. And this ends our discussion on the Filipino caregivers. In behalf of the Light Givers Association, we'd like to thank you for watching this video, and we hope that you learned something from it. To all the caregivers, we wish you that you find good jobs, good employers who will pay you well. Thanks again, and God bless you all.